Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Warcraft replay here as we get loaded into it. Yeah, it's gonna be a tournament replay from the Gold League May Pro qualifiers. Still doing it weird double groups into playoff system. But yeah, as you can see, I'm back on Nitties. They finally added the international phone numbers prefix thing, so I was able to link my account, and there is that. I don't know why we are only having one player's perspective. This is going to be weird. I'll just keep on the other player's perspective, I guess. Not that you're going to see the stats on because of the overlay. I probably should add these things to the overlay, because like sometimes NetEase does this weird thing, and then the official client doesn't have a tracker, which is kind of sucks, but oh well. Yeah, this is gonna be game 3 of the first group's losers finals. That's a mouthful. Yeah, I chose to cast the last game instead of the first two, unlike last time, was because the first two didn't really seem too interesting. They did seem rather standard, like a little too standard for my tastes. I don't think it really warranted me casting game 1s and 2, because it would have just been like almost casting the same game twice. So yeah, there is that, despite having different outcomes. So we have PCG spawning in as the blue undead on the top right. PCG 123, first time I'm casting him. I've been meaning to cast a game of him for quite some time, so this is going to be his first. I'll just call him PCG since it doesn't really make sense to use numbers these days unless your name is 120. Yeah, his opponent is going to be HawK, who is spawning in as the dark gray, black human on the bottom left. I really don't like this color as a spectator. I do like playing a black player, but as a player, as a spectator, it's gonna be hell to keep track of. I guess I could definitely do this. Yeah, I could definitely have HawK's perspective instead. The only problem is then I can't keep track of PCG's stats either. Even if I have an observer. Yeah, I don't know. You know what, for the sake of the viewers, I will just have HawK's perspective, just keep track of the minimap. Yeah. One time I am not going to be using the observer because having black as a player is just inconvenient. So far, standard starts here. Potato opening for fast tick from PCG. Death Knight versus Archmage. Death Knight got, I believe, a creep kill. Creep kill or an elemental kill, I don't know. That is a very weird number. But yeah, standard start from HawK as well. It seems like fast expansion is going to come in very soon. As yeah, he is bringing his militia over. Death Knight with a couple of skeletons, gonna try his best to maybe get something working. Ogre Magi is going down pretty quickly, and the Death Knight's gonna steal it with his Death Coil. Item's gonna be taken by the Archmage, Preemptor of Health, or Preemptor of Vitality. Tuskar does go over to the Archmage, that will give him level 2. But the Death Knight has been getting a lot recently, so even getting that Trapper to get himself level 2 as well. So far, pretty good start from PCG. I do say often that the Death Knight start is usually lackluster. Like, first 7 minutes, 7-8 minutes, like, he's 0 XP. And the only time he finally gets XP is when, yeah, you gain enough Grip Fiends to long distance creep. But, yeah, this game's a little bit different. Fast expand here. yeah, not much else to say, to be honest. Tower is going to be converted into an arcane. Just keep those skeletons away, and probably even the Death Knight here. Archmage is nearby, so we'll be able to defend this with ease. Death Coil being utilized here to try and go after these peasants. He is going to be able to take number 1, as these peasants are going to try and keep that tower up and healthy. Death Knight is going to spawn more skeletons, I believe, with that peasant corpse. Actually has a plenty of corpses on the ground to utilize here, so not sure why he's not using it. We do have Grip Fiend as well, a couple of Grip Fiends on the field with backpacks, so they can transfer over and use skeleton sticks. God, the female Death Knight is just so jarring to see, on Classic at least. I mean, like, Reforged graphics, she looks... yeah, she just looks like an evil Jaina, to be honest, but yeah, Classic is it's a very, very disgusting abomination, I would have to say. Yeah, which is kind of sad because the Archmage doesn't have a Jaina skin, and I would very much like to see that on Classic graphics. Either way, yeah, both sides just playing it pretty, not passive, but they're really just trying to test the waters here on both sides. That's a lot of footmen for HawK. I believe he is going to be tier 2ing here now that the expansion is completed. Tier 2 has been completed for PCG as he is going for Lich 2nd. No rush into tier 3 it seems, so we might be sticking on tier 2 for quite some time. But yeah, I'm not sure if PCG can actually break this base. He is going to try his best, it seems, with a Frost Nova coming out here. Footmen are going to go down despite having defend. It is only just damage mitigation, it's not really damage prevention, so they are going to take a beating, especially from the Death Knight and the Lich. Once the Lich gets enough mana for another Frost Nova, those footmen stays do appear to be numbered, but just pure auto attacks, it seems, is enough. Archmage, not really enough by himself with his elementals to fend the space off that well. 43 versus 39, so army supplies are kind of evened up here, to be honest. Second hero, I believe, is coming in from... actually, no second hero just yet, as tier 2 is just about to be completed. So, yeah, HawK is ahead slightly, just purely by numbers, it seems, with his footmen. Blacksmith gonna get placed down, so we might have possible workshop being placed down here. Rifleman doesn't seem to be, doesn't seem to make that much of a logical sense, I would say. In this particular matchup, at least. Yeah, Blacksmith about to be completed here. Arcane Towers, not the most threatening towers, but at least it does kind of force the heroes to get out of range. Grip Fiends just seem to be satisfied with just tanking it. Double statues just gonna top off heroes and the Grip Fiends as well.
Job done.
Yeah, despite losing quite a decent number of footmen on HawK's side, he is able to keep his base alive and well. Grip Fiends not exactly the best units to go for a siege. Mountain King popping out a second hero here, as we do have a workshop and Castle Tech on its way, so you can go siege tanks in tier 2. I'm not sure if siege tanks is the best option to go for. I mean, you could go for it to maybe alleviate the siege, but in the long run, I would expect that tier 3 is purely for knights to deal with those Grip Fiends.
Our forces are under attack.
And yeah, kind of lost my train of thought here, but we do have flak cannons being upgraded as well, so this does lead into flying machines as well. I was gonna mention the possibilities of workshop units here. Mortar teams could be nice, I guess, dealing with those crit fiends from afar. It's a very good defensive unit, but yeah, flying machines probably just to preempt counteracting those destroyers, which tier 3 already done from PCG, as well as we do have destroyer form halfway completed as well. Wave is on its way.
Research complete.
Pretty sure PCG is just trying to cover all his bases here. He knows that his opponent could definitely go into flying machines, as we have the second barracks being placed down. Second barracks does mean that we might be seeing a lot more knights than we would normally see on average, as the Pit Lord comes out as the third hero here from PCG. Now, in the first two games, apparently Dark Ranger was the third hero of choice for PCG. This game, Pit Lord third is it's definitely interesting. Rain of Fire is his first ability. Cleave is normally his second ability, but I wouldn't even argue picking all three, to be honest. Rain of Fire is a very good sieging tool, and Hell of Terror just does pretty well against enemy knights because, like, it's a huge damage decrease that it's probably not going to go away anytime soon, because since we don't have any Arcane Sanctums, priests can't actually go for Dispels because HawK doesn't have any priests. But yeah, knights are popping out here. They have been seen, but with no Sundering Blades, no animal training, they do seem to be a little bit more glorified footmen right now. We do have Sundering Blades queued up, as well as animal training starting up right now for HawK, as PCG is just going to keep at it. Pit Lord did take a lot of damage, feedback damage in particular, from those arcane towers there. He is going to take down one, as you do have those flying machines trying to go after that one destroyer. A couple of them are going to get quickly whipped up here, but Crypt Fiends have to deal with both the flying machines and the knights. Pally as well, third hero from HawK, just completing the human trifecta. Gonna keep these knights healed up pretty decently, I would say. A-bomb starting to be pumped out here for PCG. As do we have any Staff Sanctuaries? We do have one, as well as one Orb of Fire. So yeah, Orb of Fire, pretty good in an undead matchup. Changing from splash damage to just healing reduction. I would probably like to see maybe another Orb of Fire, maybe put on one of these melee heroes to maybe add more additional anti-air against those destroyers, because so far it doesn't look like those flying machines are doing enough to deal with just one destroyer. But other than that, I would also like to see additional Status Sanctuaries, which we just now have. So double Sanctuary is pretty nice. I mean, like Dreamy Christmas Land here, we would like to see all three of those heroes having a staff, but it is a pretty expensive item. TB Scroll are gonna get channeled here after a pretty devastating Rain of Fire from the Pit Lord. TP right on top of the undead army is gonna force the Lich to go for an invuln, as he did get Stormbolt surrounded here. We do have that one destroyer finally going down, but in exchange for pretty much all of those flying machines. Two A-bombs on the ground here with Disease Cloud is going to spread pretty much all those units for the almost full duration of the game, I would say. Knights, not exactly best equipped to deal with A-bombs. I think they're pretty comparable to A-bombs, just with slightly less health in exchange for more mobility. But yeah, all Knights have to do is just completely ignore the abominations go straight after either these statues or those crypt fiends. Pit Lord. I mean, at this stage in the game, HawK definitely would be a pretty ideal resource to have, but yeah, I believe you do have Cleave as a second ability instead. Not sure if he's gonna be willing to expend the mana to go for all 3 abilities either. Yep. Double Knights here being Sanctuary healed. Disease Cloud is a bit annoying, but healing rate is a lot higher. As we are still pumping out more Knights. Wow, 3 Knights are being healed up back at base. This is a bit of a problem for going Arcane Sanctum. This is generally where the priests are used to keep these knights pretty healthy. Other than that, like, Disease Cloud is also just a pretty oppressive debuff to have, especially since it lasts so long. Rain of Fire once again forcing these peasants off the gold line here. We are out of arcane towers, so the fact that those are down means that the Pit Lord kind of has free reign whenever he goes for a full channel Rain of Fire.
Our forces are under attack.
Army supplies right now, we are at 73 for HawK versus 55 for PCG, so despite the pretty massive supply disadvantage from PCG, it does seem like he is kind of dictating the pace of the game right now. But perhaps that'll change later on. I mean, I keep hearing Knights being popped out here for HawK, and right now he has a boatload. He almost has a full control group. I believe he has about 8 Knights on the ground, and that's pretty scary. Stormbolt surrounds seem almost deadly here. Now the main problem is like dealing with PCG's destroyers. As of yet again another Rain of Fire is going to come down. Peasant's not actually being moved off of, so this is kind of devastating. Another TV scroll is going to get channeled here. Flying machines. There's no destroyers, so the flying machines don't really have much of a use. As Rain of Fire is going to get channeled here on a couple of these flying machines being whipped up as well. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. You can see how quickly that these Crypt Fiends go down. +1/+1 Knights versus +1/+0 Crypt Fiends is... It's not really a fair fight. Destroyers are starting to pop out here as these flying machine numbers are not exactly impressive. But yeah, I mean, maybe going double workshop might be ideal as well, because it seems like a single workshop can't seem to be producing the adequate number of flying machines to deal with these destroyers. And now that PCG has kind of realized this, he's just like gone full up with his destroyer counts here. Another Rain of Fire is going to come down here. Pretty good channeling as well. Pit Lord not really being dealt with by either the Mountain King or the Knights. A good Stormbolt could have easily just stopped that DPS from coming down. A-Bomb number 1 is going to go down for PCG. He needs to be a little bit careful keeping his tanky units alive, as it seems like the Knights just going straight after the Lich is going to force a TP scroll from the Undead army here. And yeah, since PCG is looking good with his destroyer counts, I definitely do think that the Archmage should stop summoning this elemental. Like, if PCG does forego his Crypt Fiends, he could just go like pure strength on his destroyers. All the destroyers need to do is at least have one of them with mana, so that the splash damage can just eviscerate the flying machines. Yeah, so far, still pretty good on the flying machine count here. Iron Core does go down. The Helmet of Valor is going to be the item of choice, or at least the item of RNG, picked up here by the Mountain King. Not ideal, definitely would like intelligence, but at least it is a strength item. And here we go with a fight here. We are going to have one destroyer going down, but in exchange for a decent number of flying machines in the air going down. Death Knight doesn't have enough mana for another Death Coil, so might have to micro his destroyers a little bit. But the ground situation is not looking good for PCG at all, I would say. Did kind of lose all his A-bombs and almost all his Crypt Fiends and destroyers here, but now that the flying machines have kind of been whittled down to irrelevancy, these knights really don't want to be fighting destroyers without any form of anti-air. Another Rain of Fire channeling onto the expansion. And honestly, Town Hall's kind of low that you can kind of just go for it. And it seems like he is indeed gonna force those peasants to repair, but like Lich with the Pit Lord is one of the best heroes at punishing repairing you workers. Yeah, 7 flying machines, +1/+1 upgrades. I still don't know if that's enough to deal with 3 destroyers. Potentially more when these statues decide to transform as well. Yeah, HawK is in a bit of a pickle here. 62 versus 52. So if HawK couldn't win this game with about 20 supply advantage, I'm not sure if he can actually do it with 10. Knight, who was being healed up with the Sanctuary buff, can get devoured by those destroyers. I'm not sure how much mana the destroyers actually get, but like stopping the healing process is still pretty worth having as well. Level 5 Lich, probably with the level 3 Frost Nova. Uh-oh, this peasant line is gonna get caught out a little bit. I'm not sure if they're gonna get fully killed here, but yeah, HawK should be able to defend against this. Maybe? He still has a decent number of knights and his flying machine count looks kind of decent. It's just that he might be engaging versus destroyers who have full mana. And the best way to deal with these destroyers is to just wait out the mana bars, I think. I mean, it doesn't sound the best option, but like fighting against them is not ideal either. You can see there, huge amount of splash damage, almost taken down. Another wave of attacks could maybe finish them off, as flying machines walking over that rain of fire is not exactly the smartest of choices from HawK. But here we go once again, flying machines engaging against those destroyers, and another beautiful rain of fire actually destroying almost all of those flying machines there. The Lich is being focus fired by those knights, but is it going to be enough? Another rain of fire coming down from the Pit Lord, who is level 5, so that is... actually, he's not level 5. He is about to hit level 5, so those rain of fires could potentially do a whole lot more damage than they are doing right now. Death Knight is being focus fired here without Invone. He is going to be forced to retreat. But yeah, flying machines are gone. Yeah, so at this point, honestly, PCG could just fully invest into his destroyers and just deal with it that way.
Our town is under siege. We have liftoff.
Because Crypt Fiends will eventually die to these knights, and the A-bombs don't exactly do too much by themselves either. You can see that the Pit Lord, I mean, he's done a whole lot of work this game, and for something he's not really like well known for, which is spellcasting, damaging spells, he's mainly there for the Howl of Terror debuff and additional AoE damage from his cleaves, but like Rain of Fire is actually looking to be pretty useful. I'm not sure if Rain of Fire has the healing reduction debuff, but I do know it does have a little bit of burn, which is like one of the reasons why it's good on a gold line. But yeah, Django Endurance on the Bounty King here, so Endurance Aura for the human army. It's alright.
We have liftoff.
I don't know what else to say, to be honest. The ores don't seem to be enough when dealing with these destroyers. Needs to be careful not to lose any of these guys, because destroyers are pretty big investment. You need to make a statue, and then you need resources and whatnot to convert it into a statue.
Forces are under attack.
Wow, I'm getting it reversed. Statue into destroyer. Yeah, with a bit of a problem. Lich, who did go down from that previous surround here. Pitlord might actually follow suit with this surround as well. Deathcore is trying his best to heal him up, but the Pitlord does have invuln. It seems like he's not going to be able to use it, as he was constantly stunned up by the Mannequin with his bash procs and stormbolts. Flying machines going down here. We still have these destroyers kind of in good condition. The Death Knight himself needs to be careful now, because he is the next primary target for these knights and Mannequin. The flying machine numbers are going down to about 1. Almost the leftover anti-air for HawK is just his Archmage and the Mannequin. Death Knight needs to be careful, like I said before, is now prime target to get focus fired by the Mannequin and Knights. Will we have another Stormbolt coming in? I'm pretty sure, yeah, he is in range, and there we go with the Stormbolt. No invuln whatsoever from Death Knight, no boost of speed to outrun his opponents, so yeah, losing that Death Knight could be a bit problematic. I do still think that these destroyers can clinch the win for PCG. 28 versus 29. But yeah, this Death Knight is... he kind of needs to survive. Destroyers could get a couple of pot shots on these knights here. But the Death Knight needs to be super careful not to run into either the Mannequin, or I guess at this point even a Holy Light might be able to kill him. Sanctuaried on to the Knight there, as here comes the Pally, and there we go with the Holy Light there. I believe that's a level 2 Holy Light, able to pick up the Death Knight. So despite looking pretty good in the majority of the game, yeah, PCG is just going to narrowly lose this one, as he loses all 3 heroes, which the Lich, understandable. I mean, he was trying to keep up with his momentum, but the Pitlord loss was kind of bad, and then the Death Knight loss was the final straw on the camel's back, I would say. Destroyers, they were pretty scary. Yeah, that is going to be that. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys again next time. Take care.